Imagine how wonderful it would be if life were always smooth sailing and we could effortlessly navigate each day, making the right choices without any regrets. Unfortunately, the reality of the world is quite different. We all make mistakes and sometimes act in ways that we later wish we hadn't. Stoicism is a philosophy that, in theory, provides guidelines for living a balanced life. The ancient philosophers recognized that life can be complicated and challenging, so they devised rules to help us stay on track. In this video, I'll be discussing 11 historical rules that I have personally adopted to become the best version of myself. These 11 rules have been around for over 2,000 years and have proven useful to countless individuals throughout history. So I encourage you to stay tuned until the end to learn and apply these rules to your life. Rule 1. Conquer your mornings. In Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, there's a profound passage where he engages in a mental battle with himself when faced with the temptation to stay in the warm embrace of his bed. Although as an emperor, he had no obligations to do anything, Aurelius chose to rise early and take on his responsibilities. He knew that starting the day with purpose and focus was the key to success in life. To have a productive morning, I personally follow 3 actions. I write a daily plan, engage in some physical exercises, and read a book. I recommend incorporating these actions into your morning routine as well. However, keep in mind that the journey to self-improvement doesn't end with just one rule. There are more principles to explore and implement in our lives. Stay tuned to discover the rest of the rules in the upcoming segments. Making just one of the 3 choices and turning it into a habit can significantly impact your life. The first historical rule is to conquer your mornings. The second rule is to accept what is beyond your control, which is an essential lesson learned from history. Trying to control things outside of our power, like others' actions, time, or external circumstances, only leads to frustration and anxiety. Instead, we should focus on how we react to these things and take charge of our emotions, attitudes, and choices. This acceptance frees us from unnecessary stress and allows us to concentrate on what truly matters, directing our energy towards what we can change and letting go of what we cannot. The third rule is to practice gratitude. It is a powerful practice that can transform our perspective and bring more happiness into our lives. The historical philosophers believed in being grateful for everything we have, even the simplest and most basic things. Instead of complaining about what we lack, we should value and appreciate what we already possess. This doesn't mean settling for less or stopping self-improvement, but rather recognizing the abundance in our lives and finding joy in the little things. Being grateful helps cultivate a positive mindset and heightens our awareness of the blessings surrounding us. Lastly, the fourth rule is to practice detachment, which is both challenging and liberating. The historical figures understood the importance of detachment. It involves letting go of excessive attachment to possessions, desires, and outcomes. Detachment doesn't mean avoiding responsibilities or passions, but rather freeing ourselves from becoming overly dependent on them for our happiness. By practicing detachment, we can experience greater inner peace and resilience, no longer being controlled by external circumstances. These historical rules offer timeless wisdom that can bring positive changes to our lives. Implementing them can lead to personal growth, contentment, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The historical philosophers believed in the importance of detaching ourselves from material possessions and expectations. They emphasized that our happiness should not be dependent on material goods, and true contentment comes from within. Detachment liberates us from the chains of materialism and allows us to find inner peace. It doesn't mean we should not appreciate the good things in life, but rather we should not become overly attached to them. We must remember that material things are temporary, and our genuine happiness comes from within. Rule 5 is to practice virtue. The Stoics regarded virtue as the only true good, while everything else was considered indifferent. They emphasized the significance of living according to ethical and moral principles, even when facing challenges. Virtue encompasses not only doing what is right, but also cultivating qualities such as wisdom, courage, righteousness, and self-control. It involves seeking moral excellence in all aspects of life and striving to act virtuously in all situations. By practicing virtue, we develop a strong character and lead a meaningful life. These 5 historical rules have been personally embraced by me to become the best version of myself. I genuinely hope you find value in them and can apply them to your own life. Remember that Stoicism is not merely a theoretical philosophy. It is a practical approach that can help you live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. In opinion, accepting what is beyond our control is a key lesson in reducing stress and anxiety in our lives. By recognizing that not everything is in our hands, we can focus on what we can change and adopt a calmer and more adaptable attitude towards external circumstances. The practice of gratitude is powerful and often underestimated. Appreciating the simple, fundamental things in our lives can bring a sense of contentment and genuine happiness. This helps us to avoid falling into the trap of materialism and to cultivate a more positive state of mind. As for detachment, understanding that material things are ephemeral helps us to value the present moment more and not to depend excessively on them for our satisfaction. This can lead us to inner freedom, allowing us to find joy and meaning in experiences and relationships rather than material possessions. Finally, the practice of virtue is essential for building a solid character and the pursuit of a meaningful life. Seeking to live in accordance with ethical and moral principles guides us in making decisions and helps us to act with integrity in all spheres of life. In general, I believe that these rules of Stoic philosophy can be extremely beneficial in enhancing our personal journey. Incorporating these teachings into our daily lives can lead to greater self-understanding, personal growth, and a greater sense of purpose. Stoic philosophy offers a practical path to achieving a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Stoic philosophy, with its various rules and teachings, offers a valuable set of principles for improving the quality of life and achieving a greater understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The 5 rules remain: conquering the mornings, accepting what is beyond our control, practicing gratitude, seeking non-attachment, and practicing virtue are timeless concepts that can be applied in our everyday lives. When it comes to conquering the mornings, this approach can really be effective, as starting the day with clear purpose and organization can positively influence the entire day's journey. A well-generated and productive morning can set the tone for the rest of the day.